everybody, and welcome back to Art Like Carte, and it is a new month, so that means another piece for my 2018 art challenge, which is drawing a gemstone themed piece for each month of the year. And some months have multiple stones. So the first month was garnet, and this month is amethyst. So I did the whole SketchUp off camera and the inking in process off camera just because it is a really slow, monotonous, time-consuming process that I thought I would just spare you guys for. So we're just going to do the coloring portion. So the first thing I thought I would do is I wanted to black in all of my areas. I wanted some parts that were just really contrasting the lights and the dark. So I grabbed my Indian ink and started putting that in there first, because as everyone knows, Indian ink is, waterproof. You can put that down and it just stays like everything. So I thought that would be great, and I could just watercolor over top of it. But it is around this point that I begin to question my life choices. You see, it has always been my opinion that all Indian ink is waterproof. But as I'm painting, I notice that this bottle does not say waterproof. And my heart just kind of begins to sink. So as you know, the inking in and sketching process was monotonous. Transferring this computer sketch over to this really nice, high quality watercolor paper took about an hour, maybe more. And I was not looking forward to doing it again. And this bottle said non-waterproof black ink. So I did a little test on a piece of paper, and sure enough, even after it dries, if water hits this stuff in the right way, it's like Frankenstein's monster and comes right back to life. And that's not a good thing if you're doing a watercolor picture. So I went ahead and tested it on my watercolor picture, and you can see right here, it is bleeding over. I mean, this picture, I wanted all of this to be this great contrast between some really dark blacks and these beautiful light purples. So I had a choice to make. I could scrap the whole picture, start over again, not use that ink, use my other Indian ink, which happens to be waterproof, and then continue on my merry way. Or I could just give it my best shot, keep going the way I'm working, and just be really, really careful. So that's what I decided to do. I thought, I put already 2 hours into this piece. Let me go ahead and just see, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to mess it up and I will have wasted 1.5 hours to 2 hours of my time. But at least I'll know. Besides, I really liked how this inking came out. So I let the Indian ink really rest. I gave it about an hour, had dinner, came back, and then very slowly began to watercolor. So any place that the black ink and the watercolor were going to meet, I kept that pretty dry. And you can see over in some of the sides of her dress, it gets a little foggy where the black ink kind of starts to come back to life and merge back in. But I was able to kind of blend that into like shadows and things like that. So even though I had to be a little bit more careful, the actual figure, she did okay. Now, I did have one downside. I was going to have the little border part that is around her, and then of course the word amethyst, be this really great purple, and I had to change that plan. So I switched some things around in my color scheme, and I decided to do this in gold. And it actually worked out really good, because the figure that I am drawing, she's kind of inspired by ancient Egyptian culture, and so they had a lot of gold in their decorations, so I thought a gold background would actually look really well. So why did I choose an Egyptian, other than the fact that she's very pretty and I like to paint different cultures and things like that? Well, in my research, because I like to not just take the gemstone and then create a picture. I like to, if there happens to be some sort of backstory or a culture that really identifies with that gemstone, or some sort of interesting story that goes along with it, I like to incorporate that into my piece. So like with garnet, it had strong ties into Greek mythology because the garnet is known as the pomegranate stone. And so I kind of did a play off of that with pomegranates. In my research for amethyst, I found that the ancient Egyptians really treasured the amethyst stone because they thought it had the properties to help fight off drunkenness. So they would often decorate themselves with amethysts before going out and having a drink or two or three or four. So I debated having her hold like this goblet of wine. After I'd gotten about halfway through the picture, I thought, oh, I could have done like what I did with the garnet piece and have some accents. Like I have the pomegranate accents. I thought, oh, I could have put like grapevines around towards the bottom of the picture. But I'd already sketched it in and inked it in, of course, halfway painted it. So yeah, I could have done that. But even just the kind of designing kind of an Egyptian costume and headdress and things like that was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And with the Indian ink that was non-waterproof, I didn't actually have any major problems with it. There's that one spot that I tested that was kind of fuzzy towards the A, but I decided to use metallic paint and paint in the framework and the word amethyst in there, which I think kind of looks cool. It makes it look more like a monument, you know, like a decoration, which I think fits the theme of the picture. So I think that covers all of the technical sides of this piece. In the garnet picture, I asked you guys if I should just pick one stone per month, because there are a few months out there that have multiple stones, and asked you what you guys had your opinion. Should I do one stone or all of the stones, or incorporate one piece with all of the stones? And I got quite a lot of responses from that. But overall, a lot of you really encouraged me to try to do a piece for each of the stones, which would be a fun challenge. Some of the months is going to be a pretty big challenge. We'll see if I can accomplish it. But you know, that's a challenge. Putting something that's a little bit more difficult for you to do. So here is my amethyst piece. If you guys are interested, I will have prints available of this piece on my Redbubble along with my garnet piece as well. My hopes is that at the end, when I have all 12 of these or however many, that I'll make a poster with like them all on the poster. I think that'll be really pretty. So there we go. Here is the final piece in all of its purpley golden glory. And I look forward to next month's piece as well. So if you're brand new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. On Monday, I will be releasing another video for the Arting as a Job 101 series, which has been super fun. So make sure to check that one out on Monday. And until next time, thanks for hanging out with me. God bless you guys, and we'll see you in another art video. Bye-bye!